Hello to my wonderful members today. I have been promising to do this video for you for a minute, so I thought today's the day. Today is the day. I'm coming to you in front of my altar. Now, you don't have to have an altar to meditate. You don't have to have an altar to take advantage of this little video about breathing I'm going to talk to you about today. This just happens to be a nice backdrop for me, and it is where I sit and meditate predominantly. So anyway, I just thought it would make a nice setting for our topic today. Now, I am going to do a longer video about the practice of meditation and the best way to do that. But I had promised you guys just a quick video about breathing. The breathing technique that I'm going to share with you today is the one that I use with my students that I teach to meditate. There are many kinds of meditation practices. I think they all have benefits to them. And again, I'm not going to go into that at length today. However, the breathing exercise that I'm going to teach you is one that you can use anywhere and anytime, unless maybe you're driving, in which case you wouldn't want to close your eyes. But you don't have to close your eyes to do this. And as you get better at it, in fact, you won't need to even close your eyes. You'll just sort of understand by having that intent within your mind. It's like giving your body, yourself, your inner self, a message. Okay, I need to do this now. And your body responds and your breathing responds. So here's the way we're going to do it, very simply. Now, I'm sitting, as I would to meditate. This doesn't have to be done sitting, but this is, well, like I said, the best setup for me today. So bear that in mind. You can do it anywhere. You can do it sitting in your car. It's a wonderful technique to use to calm yourself down. One of the benefits of meditation is over time, it gives you a buffer of, for example, you're in a conversation with somebody and they've said something startling or hurtful or whatever, and you need that pregnant pause, as we call it, so that you are able to respond and not react. That's one of the things that meditation, one of the gifts I will say that meditation gives you over time. So can this breathing technique. And it will slow your heart rate down, it slows your breathing down, it slows your mind down, most importantly. So let's do this together. Now, my practice is that we take a bow before we do our meditation and all that. So we're not going to do that today. I'm just almost out of habit did it. That's why I mentioned it. But let's start by practicing this. Just take your hand, your thumb is a good gauge, and find your belly button. And then just put your hand down there right below your belly button. This is called your dantian or 1 point or hara. Just depends on what language you're speaking. Now, I know that especially ladies, we are always taught to hold our tummies in, but this is counterproductive to that. So I recommend you just get over that. So I like to practice, and I like to teach students to practice by simply looking down at your hand. Now, here's what we want to do. As you inhale, your hand is going to come forward. In other words, you're expanding your whole abdominal area. And then when you exhale, you'll be pushing your belly button back towards your spine. So if you're looking down at your hand should be moving back and forth if you're doing it correctly. Sadly, in the world, as infants, we are taught, because we watch adults breathe, and we're taught how to breathe with the upper parts of our lung, which is minimal at best in terms of getting air down into our lungs fully. This technique teaches you to get the air and therefore the chi that we're breathing in, the life force that we're taking in from the air we breathe, all the way down into that lower third of your lungs. And it's just so vitally important to do that. Not only that, it massages your organs, and there are many other benefits. But back to the breath. So we're not using this upper part of our shoulders and our upper part of our body here, our chest. We're only going to be moving the bottom part where our tummy is here. So again, your hand goes here. Now as I inhale, I see my hand going outward, and as I exhale, I push it back toward my spine. Again. Wow. Now for me, I'm already in a state of meditation because I've done this enough that it's a trigger to my body. It signals my body. Everything calms down, everything relaxes. I'm in a very different state. You can probably tell that by my voice. But this is a wonderful tool, not only for meditation, but again, using it in everyday life. It's a magic tool. I've had many students that I've shared this with, and they'll go about their day and they'll have an encounter or a difficult conversation with someone, maybe it was someone at work or a family member, even in traffic. We know how triggered we can get in traffic. And they simply said, I remembered what you said about the breath. I started breathing in this area, in this Dantine area, and I found I immediately calmed down. I didn't have the same reaction to that person I might have had I not done that. So it's just a simple, simple tool, but don't let its simplicity belie the profundity of this technique. It is simple for a reason. Anyone can do it. You can do it. You can use it anywhere and anytime. When I do it, about the second breath, I want to close my, I'm very, very drawn to want to close my eyes. I'm pulled inward, in other words, which is what you want. Now, again, if you're using this as a tool, you can't close your eyes, of course. But you can say to yourself internally, even if you're looking someone in the face, just have that internal intention within yourself. I'm going to do that breathing technique. And just switch from the normal breathing that you would do up in the upper part of your chest to the lower, and remember how you do it and push your belly out and so forth. Now I like to, if you can remember, take a little pause at the low part of the breath before you inhale, and the same at the top of the breath before you exhale. So either, both ways, not either, both ways. If you can take a little pause each direction, and maybe some people say count their breath, like inhale to the count of 5, exhale to the count of 6 or something like that. Whatever works for you is fine. I've never particularly done that, but if that is helpful for you, that's fine. Whatever works. So that's really the essence of this breath. It's just a little tool, but it can do a lot toward helping you calm down. As I said, lowering your blood pressure, calming your mind, getting you into that space of if you need to respond to something as opposed to relax. Now, I will be coming back later with a video about meditation, and I hope that you'll join me for that because it is certainly a life-changing tool. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you very soon, each and every one of you. Thanks for being in my memberships and supporting me here on YouTube. Okay, that we will call a wrap, and I'll see you guys soon. See you on the tube.